Here is your step-by-step guide of exactly how to set up an LLC so you don't have to pay someone a ton of money to do it. Setting up an LLC is not that hard, but there are so many companies online and attorneys and everyone else that are trying to convince you to pay them lots of money to do it. So I'm going to walk you through step-by-step exactly how to do it. I'll try to give you all the resources. In the next 10 minutes, I'm going to save you hundreds of dollars. Step 1, you have to choose where you're actually going to set up your LLC. Now, most of you are going to choose your home state, and that's totally fine, and that's what I did for the majority of my LLCs. But there is something to think through here that you need to kind of educate yourself on a little bit. Specific states have different rules and guidelines around LLCs. For example, some people require that you have operating agreements, some people don't. Some people will naturally disclose a lot of information about you and your LLC if you file there, where some states won't. There are states that are notorious for being the most LLC friendly, if you would. Those are Delaware and Wyoming. I will tell you, I started the majority of my companies inside of Idaho. I've actually transitioned quite a few of them over to Wyoming just because they give me a little bit of a veil so that my public information is out there for everyone. And just because of the public eye that I'm in, I prefer that. But think through where you're going to set up your LLC because it does matter a little bit. Once you've chosen the state, step 2 is kind of fun. This is where you get to come up with a name, okay? You're going to have a name for your LLC, and that name cannot be used on other LLCs inside of that state. So you're going to have to get a little bit creative here. This is why there are weird words and weird combinations of words in a lot of different companies like Google and Uber and everything else. Is 1, it's marketing, but 2, you have to figure out something that's not taken. You can go to the Secretary of State inside the state that you are going to put your LLC in, and you can search all businesses to see if it's taken. It's completely free. It's really easy. It's a tool. You just Google Secretary of State, Idaho, or Secretary of State, Wyoming. And it's going to pull up a little search bar, and you can just type in whatever business idea or name you have, and it's going to show you all the businesses that have a similar name, and you need to make sure that no one else has your name. Once you have your name done, you're going to go to step 3, and this is where you file your articles of incorporation. That sounds really scary, but I promise it's not that hard. You're going to go to whatever state you chose, and inside that state, you're going to say file LLC or file new LLC or file articles of incorporation. Every state's a little bit different. Find that button, and it's going to pull you onto an online application. This application is going to take about 10 minutes. It's not that hard. It's not that scary. You're going to walk through the application. It's going to force you to put information in. It's going to ask you stuff like contact information and where you live and some generic information about you and any other members inside of the LLC. Make your way through this. It's going to take you about 10 minutes. And at the end of it, it's going to ask for a filing fee. The state in which you apply for your LLC is going to have to pay someone to review it and make sure that all your I's are dotted and your T's are crossed. I would say it's usually around $50 to $200, depending on the state. I'd say most states average about $100. At the end of that screen, I think almost every single state trying to make more money, they're like, if you want to pay a rush fee, it's an extra whatever. And they can usually do it same day or next day. If you don't do that, it's usually about a week or 2 wait time. You have to wait until that's approved. They're going to send you an email saying, congratulations, your LLC is approved. As soon as your LLC is approved, you're going to take your articles of organization. I've been saying incorporation, guys. Sorry, that's for corporations. We're talking LLC. So articles of organization, you're going to take that and you're going to go to the IRS website and you're going to just go to Google and say, file for EIN number IRS. It's going to pull up a website. Once again, it's very, very user-friendly. It's on the IRS website, and you're going to go through, once again, a questionnaire that they kind of force you down a funnel. It's hard to screw it up. You're going to force you down this funnel, and you're going to answer questions like, what type of industry are you in? Are you in consulting or marketing or banking or something else? You're going to answer questions about who you are. You're going to have to put your social security number in here because the government never wants you to escape money and not pay your taxes, and this is going to tag it to you. But you're going to get an EIN number. An EIN number is like a social security number for your business is the easiest way to think about it. They're going to give you this, I think it's 9-digit code that is going to link that code to you and your business. And that code is what you're going to give to people if they ever give you like a 1099, or if you have to go file for a bank or an investment or account or something, that's the code they're going to want. Just like when you go to a bank, they ask for your social security. When you open a business bank, they're going to ask for your EIN number. Make sure that when you're done with this, hit save, download PDF and save this. You want to have your articles of organization and your EIN number saved in a secure spot because you're going to need to access these as your business is up and going. A lot of different people will ask for this. Step number 5 is a new one this year in 2024, and you're going to have to file a Corporate Transparency Act document. This is a 1 or 2 page document, really easy. You can Google it. Your CPA can help you. You can do it online. But what this is a new document that the government is now forcing us all to do. If you have a prior LLC, you have to do it. And if you have a new LLC, you you have to do it. But this is basically, once again, you just stating, I'm this person, I own this company, and then you file it with the federal government. In my opinion, I'm pretty sure the reason for this is because some of those states like Delaware and Wyoming and stuff give you that corporate veil. The IRS or the government doesn't have access to see who's starting those LLCs, and they don't like that. So this is not public data. This CTA is going to go to the government and be housed inside the government. Now, hopefully there's no breaches like always happens to government data, I feel like, but in theory, this is going to stay behind lock and key. It should not be public information, but it's the way the government is going to tie you to that LLC because they're sick of states not requiring us to. Step number 6, I'm going to say this is mandatory. Technically, it's not mandatory, and this is an operating agreement. There are a lot of states that actually don't require you to have an operating agreement to create your LLC. So this is not really a required step, but I think everyone should do it. Even if it's a single member LLC, all by yourself. What an operating agreement is it's going to state the rules of the LLC. In complex companies, this will state like how many shares there are and how to buy someone out and if there's conflict resolution and a bunch of different just like terminologies to dictate kind of the rules. It's kind of like the Declaration of Independence for your business. This can be done 100% free online again, okay? If you Google sample operating agreement, it will just come up with a bunch of like fill in the blank cookie cutter ones that are generally good. This is where you can also get very complicated and employ attorneys to go create this. Whatever it is, I think everyone should have an operating agreement, and the majority of businesses that you do work with are going to require you to have one and ask for it. This is also where you're probably going to state what the ownership percentages of the LLC are. When you're creating the LLC before, you actually didn't have to state that. Now you're going to say, oh, this person owns 25, this one owns 75, this one owns 2%. Like this is where you're going to spell out ownership, all that kind of stuff. Step number 7, you are going to take your EIN document and your articles of organization that you got from the state. You're going to take those 2 documents and walk into the bank of your choice and open up a business bank account. This is very, very necessary because the one thing that will mess up your LLC quicker than almost anything else is commingling of assets and funds for your LLC. You cannot go purchase personal items with your business card, or you cannot do vice versa, do personal items on your business card, okay? You have to separate these very, very clean. If you commingle, it basically null and voids your LLC. If you go to court or anything else and they can prove that you commingled assets, the judge will be able to pierce that corporate veil or that LLC veil and will be able to come after you personally. And that completely eradicates the whole purpose of an LLC. So you want to set up a business bank account. Those 2 documents are all you need. Almost any bank can do this. I love credit unions for all my small businesses. Your accountant's going to love you. If you ever get in trouble, you're going to love yourself, but make sure you do this from day 1. Step number 8 is a little bit more general, but you just need to stay compliant after this. Once you've set up your LLC, 90% of the work is done, but you still have to do stuff every single year. You've got to file your annual fees. You need to make sure that you have a meeting every single year and record annual minutes. You need to make sure that everything to keep your LLC in check is being done every single year so that you never lose that LLC. If you don't pay your fees, eventually it's going to dissolve and you won't even know it. So you need to make sure that you're staying on top of meeting minutes. You're staying on top of the annual filing that you have to do with every single state. They'll send you emails. It's really easy. It's like 3 clicks of a button. And oftentimes there's some annual fees that you have to pay, usually not much, 50 to $100, but this stuff will keep your LLC active and in good standing so that you can continue to use it and get all the benefits from it. Filing an LLC is really not that hard. I know people that will pay attorneys like thousands and thousands of dollars to do this. Now, there are pieces of it that can get complicated, like the operating agreement can get very complicated. I have companies where we have employed attorneys tens of thousands of dollars to work through some of this stuff, and that's totally fine. But for the vast majority of people, you do not need that. Most LLCs can be started with $100, maybe $200 and be done in like a 7-day period. So if you're looking to start an LLC, hopefully this was really, really helpful, whether it's a side hustle, to put a property in, or to start the next billion-dollar tech venture. I don't care what it is. Make sure you use your startup money where it should actually be used in creating a product and a business and not throwing it away at attorneys because you thought you had to, because it's really, really easy. Drop your comments down below and let me know what other videos you guys want to see, okay? I'm always creating videos on social media, but honestly, long form's a little bit harder to come up with ideas that you guys actually want. So tell me what you guys want and subscribe if you're looking to grow your net worth.